everyone. I thought I would record my full moon divination, and if you feel that it resonates with you, great. So today is November 5th. It's the full moon in Taurus. So we're getting that mixing of Scorpio and Taurus. Scorpio's a water sign, right? Yeah, it's got to be a water sign. I'm still learning my astrology, so I'm still trying to apply what I know. See, we're kind of getting all that energy going on, but that Taurus energy is reminding us to ground ourselves. Okay. So, like I've said previously, if you've watched, I think I posted my new moon divination where I talked about my method that I'm doing for this calendar year. I pulled a card. Let me switch over to my second camera so you can see what I'm talking about. I pulled a card from the Spellcasting Oracle at the beginning of the year to be my focus for the year. And I pulled the Well-Being card, so a great card to pull what I need to focus on. Then I pulled in for each phase of the moon, the current astrology going on from my Zodiac moon reading cards. And I'm trying to utilize decks that I haven't been using. Oh, hang on one second. I am missing a card. Be right back. Okay, I found it. I was missing the Moon and Taurus card from the Zodiac Moon reading cards. So our sun currently is in Scorpio, reminding us of passion, that this time is a passionate or intense and mysterious phase of the moon, or sun, astrologically speaking anyway. The moon in Taurus, it wants us to focus on self-esteem and personal growth. Always, that's an ongoing thing for me. But again, a great thing to remind me for my well-being, to refocus when I tend to get lax. And then my other cards that I pull in for these check-ins are from the Moonology Oracle and the Moonology Manifestations Oracle. I'm going to slide my incense over. Getting a lot of smoke going right in front of the camera. Although it adds some mood, I suppose. So, the full moon in Taurus from Moonology reminds us that our dreams need a practical plan. Yeah, that grounding energy. Yeah, don't just sit there with your head in the clouds, which I have a tendency to do. And also from that deck, they also remind us, since it is a supermoon, emotions are going to be running high. That moon is at perigee tomorrow night, and that means that it's going to be at its closest to the Earth in its orbit around the Earth. And that has a great effect on the water here on Earth. And remember, we are, I can't remember the exact percentage, 60 to 70% water, I think. So it does affect us. And it definitely affects our tides. So we're looking at some king tides right now. But luckily, we don't have any major weather patterns going on right now. They're going to bring in flooding for us right now where I'm at. We had that last week. And from the Moonology Manifestations, it's reminding us to detoxify, use that earth energy, ground ourselves. So we're going to use that as our basis for the cards we pull. And again, for these readings, I pull from my Light Seers deck. because for me this year, these full moon and dark moon readings that I do, I want to focus in on my well-being, and I want that message fairly clear. And while I like reading with some other decks, I have to sit a lot longer with them to sometimes unravel the message. And Light Seers for me tends to be a little more of a hit right away. So let's see if I can actually shuffle the whole deck. Probably not. I usually have to split it into pieces. Yeah, it's not great. I have some arthritis starting in my left thumb, even though it's not my dominant hand. So it makes it really difficult to bridge shuffle these longer tarot cards, since they're longer than playing cards. So it makes it a little more difficult. I'm not a fan of the mini decks. Probably the smallest size deck that I care for. I know it's not the traditional mini deck. I want to say like Tarot in a Tin, that size. It's probably the smallest I like to work with. I don't mind it for the shuffling. The shuffling's great with those. It's harder to see details in some of the images. So if like I said, I read pretty intuitively. And when I'm trying to focus and look at the card and see if something stands out to me, I don't want to miss a detail. And so I don't want to go that small with my cards when I'm reading. However, they are a little easier to shuffle. So we're just going to keep mixing piles, and then I'll do some overhand. And I'm going to throw half the deck on the table. And I don't have a set spread in mind when I do this reading. I just go with the flow. If I get a number that pops into my head while I'm shuffling, then okay, I'll go with that number. But even at the end of that, if the message isn't making sense, or I feel like I'm missing a detail or something, I'll still pull another card, or I might pull in another oracle or a rune, just to, make sure I'm getting what it's trying to tell me. But we'll see what happens with this one. I'm not feeling a number, so we'll see. And then I'm also going to stop for a second. I'm going to reposition. No, I'll wait. I'll see how many cards I pull. I might reposition my camera. We'll see. But how do you like to approach the divination around the moons? Do you have set spreads that you like to do? And maybe we'll take that one. We'll start with that, and we'll see where we go from here. So we have the Two of Cups. So we have the joining together to make something new. Okay. Now, typically, I'm not really quite getting where it's going with this whole vibe, so we'll just take it as a jumper for now. See where it plays in. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. This deck tends to like being cut 3 times. And I do it at different levels in the deck, so I'm not always hitting that same card back and forth. Okay, let's see what we have here. Ooh, the Magician. Again, we're dealing with manifesting all of this. It's time to really sit down and do that. This could be a supporting element. I'm going to pull one more and see if I can get a little more cohesion. Oh, we had the Lovers in reverse. Two majors. Lots of water going on because we not only have the water in the cups in the tarot, we also have that lunar energy, that water element that's tied there. I'm seeing the galaxy swirl here, but it also still reminds me of the water element here. And we definitely have those vortexes of energy in these cups, here and here. These two together can form the lemniscate that we see repeated here. And this is what I do. I kind of go through and try to pick out things that just stick in my brain. What am I seeing? What's reminding me of what? Do I see repeating colors? So we have this, which might be reminding us right now that we have this mysterious phase going on. We've got these color repetitions that we're seeing here. So I'm going to pause for a moment while I reflect, so I'm not boring you, while I gather my thoughts and I look at this as a whole, because I don't feel that I need to pull any more from the tarot right now. Again, this is the overarching what's good for my well-being. But I'm just not sure where all of this ties in. So give me a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I sat for a few minutes. I played with the cards and I moved the camera up, so I'm sorry, this is in my face. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch down to just the camera looking at the cards. So let's see here. Where did my... That's not the right one. You would think I would have this all down by now. No. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So I just started laying the cards down in an order that just kind of made sense to me as I was laying them down. I can't explain it. But as I did, and I sat back and looked at what I had done, I started noticing things. Which cards were touching which, and where that message between them came. So again, discussing well-being. We have our Two of Cups. This is something that I really want to achieve. Let me just slide the camera just a little more. There we go. I'm looking for this partnership, this merging of ideals. I've been trying to get out of my little comfort zone and get out and meet new people. Seeing what I can find, seeing where I can try to meet some people that I resonate with, and that we can have great discussions and conversation. So this is what I'm trying to manifest. Something is blocking me in that that I want, that what I'm looking for. So it's reminding me that yes, I am the magician in this. I am trying to manifest these new relationships or this new partnership, whatever it might look like. But the moon in Taurus is reminding me, one, I need a practical plan. I can't just go at it just throwing random darts out into the universe. I haven't been trying to approach it that way, but maybe I have been. Self-esteem is a huge part of my issue. Yes, I know that. When you have unprocessed emotions, it can really impact you in different ways. So it's reminding me I've got to detoxify in order to get out of this. The lovers often are about a choice. It's not necessarily about romantic love, but it's a partnership again, or a choice, and that's going to affect a lot of your life, a lot of your passions. Where do your passions really lie? I need to make a choice. Well, I'm having trouble making that choice or getting to this, probably because of the self-esteem issues. You have that imposter syndrome. I haven't posted on social media in quite some time because I didn't see the relevance of it for myself. I'm trying to get myself out of that mindset and I've started posting again. I'm trying to be very real in my posts that I'm putting up. I'm not trying to glamorize. I'm not trying to worry about the aesthetics necessarily. I mean, I do to a degree. Of course, we want to not stare at something on the screen that isn't completely a train wreck. Although, if you've watched any of my live streams so far, they're pretty much train wrecks. But we get that reminder again. That's why I set this one to the side. It's more of a reminder that because the moon is at perigee or close to perigee tomorrow night, those emotions that I have surrounding all of this, they're going to be running at a super high. Hey, Copper, what are we whining about, buddy? So I need to take a step back, ground myself, and remember, okay, that's just the emotional side of it. Now let's process and figure out what the best path forward would be in order to achieve this. That I would like to see come into my life. So I know I rambled a bit there, but that's the way, that's why I started recording even before I started posting my readings, because I couldn't keep up in my brain when I would try to write my readings down. I couldn't keep up fast enough without trying to alter it in my brain. I was editing myself as I was trying to write. So I would often forget something that might have been key, or I'm hoping wasn't key anyway, that I saw in the reading because I couldn't write it down fast enough, or I was already editing myself. So I started recording my readings so that I could go back and go, oh, wait a minute, maybe that's what I should have keyed in on. Maybe maybe that's what was meant. Even though in the end, I know whatever message I come away with should really be the overall message. But sometimes you want to go back and go, okay, well, did that actually work out the way I was thinking it would? Did it show up later in my life the way I interpreted the cards that particular time? So again, I'm going to say the overall message for this reading is, this is what I want to see in my life, this Two of Cups energy, where I have this partnership with the world at large. I'm looking for more friends, people to communicate with, that we can discuss different topics. This is what I'd like to see in my life, and I'm working on that. I am working on it, but again, like I said, when I was just laying the cards down, I found it interesting when I sat back and I laid the Lovers in reverse on top of this, definitely showing I'm blocking myself. And it reflects back to those interests. So where are my choices in all of my various interests? Where do I need to either make that choice, figure out which of those options I'm trying to weigh and maybe refocus? Again, and that comes back to my dreams need a practical plan. Working with that self-esteem issue, I need to detoxify. I need to get rid of that imposter syndrome. I know it's not going to be easy. It's been something that's been lingering for years. Ever since I became more open about my practice, it's you definitely have that imposter syndrome. You're like, I'm not an expert by any means. And that's why I said I will stop and sit here for a minute and take a moment to take it all in, to try and figure out what the cards are telling me. And I think that's what it is today. I need to work on that imposter syndrome and my self-esteem, and then come up with a better plan, or a more cohesive plan, maybe. I don't think anything's better, more better. Yeah. Anyway, come up with a plan that might be a little more practical to keep up with. That might be what it is. I feel like I've got a million things again going, even though you step back and look at my life and you're like, you've got nothing going on. What do you mean you got a million things going on? In my head, there's a million things going on. So tell me what you think. If you have a particular way you do your readings for specific times of the month or year, what do you do? What do you do for these full moons? Anything? Nothing? All right. I will end this one here. And now I got to think about a plan. Thanks for joining me.